Pretty nice, Dan, isn't it?
Ah, not too bad.
So I was working on this ball recently. I actually finished it on this trip. It's for Roberto Carlos.
Who? I've heard of him.
I've spent the past few weeks working on a ball that's going to commemorate the 2022 World Cup. My new friend Dan invited me out to lunch to talk about my process and see the progress.
I think being a craftsman and making footballs is a super unique way of like turning your passion into something that just lets you be creative whenever you want.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I can't really take much credit for it. It kind of just happened purely by mistake. The ideas come from all over the place, basically. Like I have this list, which I call the ball queue. Just like this ever-growing list of balls that I want to do. And yeah, inspiration can come from anywhere. Honestly, like the shirt that you're wearing is a perfect example. Like it's made up of these little hexagons, right? So obviously like balls, like classic ball constructions have hexagons built into it. So just looking at your shirt, it's kind of divided up the hexagon in like an interesting way. It creates like an interesting pattern. So like right there, that would be a really cool ball construction, like your shirt.
How long does a ball take to make?
So obviously it depends on the ball. Like this one, for example, because there's like a large number of cells that you see in a standard ball, there's 92 panels in here. This takes about a week of just stitching to get it together. I taught myself how to do this. And the process of that was basically just making a lot of bad balls, basically. I like to focus on the balls that you can't really buy in a shop. You know, the balls that aren't commercially viable, you know, the ones that are a bit more eye-catching. The tips of my fingers are just getting a bit beaten up, you know.
And that doesn't put you off of making the balls? Like you're literally killing yourself.
Well, I wouldn't go that far.
Is there a limit to what you can create?
I think basically no limit. There's going to be a lot more crazy stuff than the stuff you've seen so far. Pretty nice, Dan, isn't it?
Ah, not too bad. I've had worse views.
So I was working on this ball recently. I actually finished it on this trip. It's for Roberto Carlos.
Who? I've heard of him. I think he's a good player.
And he commented on one of the posts just basically being like, do me next or something. Just, I think, you know, not serious, just like in passing.
When Roberto Carlos says, make a ball for me next, you take it seriously.
That's the thing, I was like, well, okay, I'm making you a ball, dude.
Should we go grab some lunch?
Let's do it, dude, I'm starving.
Oh, amazing, right?
You should be a manager of FIFA.
Thanks a lot, man. How do we do this?
Well, first of all, you don't need any cutlery. You just get your hands, you rip some bread. You don't question what anything is. You just put it in and you enjoy yourself. Let's get into it.
Sounds good, let's do it.
It's like super flaky and like chewy at the same time. So whenever you're walking, whenever you're meeting people, whenever you're seeing things, is there something at the back of your mind constantly ticking about how can I turn this feeling or this energy into a football?
Definitely. It's like a low level, just like process. It's just like balls.
It's always
just
simmering.
Constant. Yeah. Let me show you something. This is the ball I've been working on whilst I'm here.
Wow.
So the idea was to try and make a ball that encapsulates the tournament. And you know, there's 32 teams in the tournament competing, 32 countries, and there's 32 panels on a standard football. So this ball is loosely based on that construction, although each of the panels is supposed to represent one of the country's flags in like an abstract way. So this is my progress so far. I have a few more panels to add.
That is amazing. I can see Tunisia, Switzerland, Ghana, there's Korea there.
Yeah.
There's Qatar.
Qatar's there. So the idea was to basically stitch the panels in the order that the teams got knocked out of the cup.
No way.
I think what's going to happen is I'm going to be at the final. And, you know, there's obviously going to be like two teams playing. and I'll have to wait until right after the final and I'll be able to add those two panels. Like
That is incredible.
basically the outcome of the tournament actually affects the design of the ball, which I thought was like kind of cool.
I think that's why at the end of it, every time you do make a ball, it's a work of art, and I can't wait to see the finished product.
Thanks a lot, Dan. I'm excited to show it to you.
I'm excited to see it.